Today on Shop Nation, we turn our eyes up and identify some quick, easy storage solutions that are sure to maximize your space and efficiency. Hey, what's up? It's Travis with Shop Nation. Today I wanted to get back in the shop and address some storage opportunities that have been kind of building up. However, if you didn't know, my wife and I just welcomed our first kid into the world, so time has been short. So as I'm trying to balance out that dad life and still continue to make progress in the shop, I had to think of solutions that were effective and quick. Now, if you've been following along on the Shop Nation journey, you know that I've been making some strides when it comes to storage and organization, like the cabinets and the workbench. And those are both great. But what happens if you don't have any wall space or floor space? Where do you go? Well, the only way to go, really, and that's up. I'd be willing to bet that if you took a look at the top third of your shop or workspace, you have a lot of opportunity for storage. Now, one of those areas that I've identified in my shop is the area above my cabinets. Right now it's just storing some dust, but I want to make it a little bit more useful. Now, my idea for this comes from one of my favorite shows growing up, which was Mythbusters. If you've ever seen that show, in Jamie Hyneman's shop, he had basically a wall of organization of these clear totes that had big giant labels on the outside that told you exactly what was in them. Now, I don't have a 30-foot wall where I can do several rows of these bins, but I can do a single row above my cabinets. So that's gonna be the first relatively simple addition I'm gonna make. For the labels, I'm keeping it really simple. Just printed some plain text on paper and taped them on the inside. I chose these bins specifically because they're the same depth as the cabinets. They sit flush with the front. So there you have it, a cheap and easy way to make use of space that is otherwise probably wasted in your shop. Now, with any storage project, I always try to build in a buffer for future junk. So you'll notice that several of the bins up there are empty, and that is very much intentional. The system is great because I can modify and change as time goes on and my needs change. Now, obviously you're not going to store things up there that you need all the time. Everything that I've selected that goes in those boxes is stuff that I use periodically or as extra or backup. Now, the next elevated storage solution is going to help tackle this problem. The solution we're going to put in place today is only going to tackle half of this problem, the second half of which I'm going to tackle in the next video. Now, if you're like me, the scrap wood pile in your shop is a holy sanctuary. You do not throw that stuff away. First off, wood isn't the cheapest stuff in the world. Second of which, you don't know what that wood could be one day. Maybe it can grow up and be a piece of shop furniture, or a beautiful piece of furniture inside, or an organizational system. We don't know, but I've got to figure out a way to store it more efficiently than right here. So I'm going to use a spot in the back corner of my shop above the door that just so happens to be 8 feet long, and I'm going to mount some lumber racks up there, and I can store the long, skinnier pieces of this wood. Again, understanding that I'm not going to need this wood on a daily or even weekly basis. So a wood rack can come in many forms. I'm always an advocate of building yourself, but because I'm living that dad life and don't quite have the time, I decided to go with a store-bought option. I'm going to use these Bora Portmate 4-level racks. The good thing about these is they're pretty cheap and they come in a variety of sizes. So I got a pretty narrow one because the space above my door is pretty narrow, but if you had a whole wall, they have a very tall one with many more layers. So I bought 2 sets of these. That means I'm gonna have 4 racks going across. Now, you don't need 4 racks to support an 8-foot board. I'm gonna put in 4 racks because if I want shorter boards up there, I want them to be supported. Here's a little trick if you've never seen this. Instead of leaving your wall looking like a sketch pad with pencil marks, put some painter's tape or masking tape in the areas where you know you're going to be making marks, mark to your heart's content, and then simply remove after you've drilled your hole. And to make this job a heck of a lot easier, I finally broke down and bought a laser level. Now, if you've never used one of these before, they're freaking tremendous. I have no idea why it took me so long to actually use one. I'll also be linking everything that I'm using in the video in the description down below, so you can go check out those links. Pew pew. If you do end up buying a laser level, definitely go for the green over the red. The green is way easier to see, especially in daylight. Each rack is held in place by 2 lag bolts directly into the studs. Remember to always pre-drill for lag bolts. I'm keeping the wider pieces towards the top and the smaller pieces towards the bottom, just to keep everything visible and not create too many shadows. With the rack finally set up and all the wood loaded into it, I can immediately notice a difference. Now I didn't get rid of my entire wood pile, but it did make a pretty big dent in it. And as I mentioned before, I have another idea for these longer, wider pieces that I'm going to incorporate into the next project. This is such a super easy and simple thing you can do in your shop to free up a lot of space on the floor. Now these racks that I got can support 100 pounds per shelf, so quite a bit of wood can fit up there. Alright, that's going to wrap up this project. Both organizational ideas that I just showed not only take advantage of the top third of your workshop, which is probably underutilized, but also take very little time. So whether you're a new dad, buried in work, or just have other things going on, these are quick, easy things you could do in your shop to make a big improvement. I'd love to know what you guys think about the projects. Go ahead and leave those in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Welcome. And also hammer that like button. Real quick subscriber update, haven't done one of these in a couple videos, but as of shooting this video, we're at 51,510. Yeah, crossed 50,000. What? It's really cool, I'm eternally grateful. You probably noticed a little bit of a slowdown as of recently, but as mentioned, I've been living that dad life. But I'm trying to enjoy it because I know these early weeks and months are really important and you don't get those back. But we will continue to push along in the shop, and I will see you guys on the next project, and until then, continue to pursue shop greatness.